Would you guys say there's a taboo in our family?
Taboo?
Yeah.
Of what?
Yeah.
Taboo means something you shouldn't do.
Yeah, like something that's, it's taboo.
Don't tease mom. That's a taboo.
I don't like being teased.
Oh, trust me. Don't
I
do
do not like
Do you feel like
being
we
teased.
tease you?
She
No,
feels I
it's
do.
mostly Dad. I just can't stand being teased by Dad.
By Dad.
Yeah.
She used to love it. It was
Oh,
a way I
I
made
never-
her laugh.
No.
As she's gotten older, she's lost her sense of humor.
No, it's not true.
How are
I
you
never
doing
like
on
being teased.
teasing less?
Not that well.
Yeah, really.
Well, that's something
Bothering
we
me
could
very
tease you
much that I
about.
can't remember what I
I don't
looked
mind being teased.
Ma, would you like to tease Dad for a little bit?
Give me a good tease.
at. No,
Tease
I
me.
don't even know how to tease.
Sure.
You've never teased?
I don't think I
Give her-
do
give her
know
a
how to
teasing
tease.
lesson.
I think.
Hey, your beard is so long, you can't see your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is hurtful.
God, I think I am losing my sense of humor.
Do you want to try teasing
Try
me?
a tease.
We
See
should,
if it makes you feel better.
Yeah, you might enjoy doing it,
You
but
might
not
enjoy doing
accepting it.
Not
Honey,
receiving
look
it.
at that. I can't even see your upper lip. It's all covered with this funny fuzz.
Oh, you're such a tease.
Oh, what is that?
College boys, your courage muster, shave off that fuzzy cookie duster. You know what that's from?
What?
Burma-Shave.
Are
Remember
you
the
kidding
Burma-Shave
me?
ads?
How do you
did
remember
find
that?
those? How'd you find that?
I had a book of the Burma-Shave ads, and that was my favorite one. College boys, your courage muster, shave off that fuzzy cookie duster.
Do you remember that book I gave you about Victorian expressions, kid? That was a pretty good gift with all the vocabulary from Victorian period.
Oh, it actually wasn't Victorian. It was,
It was-
words that were once popular.
Yeah. I
remember
since
that book.
1200
Yes, it's yeah.
through the 1900s.
I remember that.
Yeah,
book.
and then they
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
some good ones. I remember snollygoster, callipygian.
What do those words mean?
Snollygoster is like a disreputable wretch, a terrible,
Oh my God, I love that.
lying piece of shit. And then callipygian might be callipygian, I'm not sure. It means perfectly proportioned buttocks.
Callipygian.
Well, that's mom.
Thank you for sharing that.
A callipygian.
That's not a tease,
woman.
Mom. That's
Oh,
a
honey,
compliment.
no, I don't know. I
Do you
don't
feel
Find
Dad
your
is-
so
I'm get-
callipygian. I
honey,
love your callipygian.
I'm retiring from this podcast today.
Okay. Welcome to
Don't listen to us. Really, I don't know why. Oh my God.
our Take It or
Is
Leave It
that-
advice show. We'll be featuring advice from cows today. If you want to know where the best grass is.
Ask me.
Have you ever played a cow in anything?
I almost was the back end of a cow in something that I can't remember what it was, but I didn't get the part.
Wow, that must have been devastating.
It was devastating, but don't go in this business unless you're willing to be knocked down.
I drew cows that were with square bodies when I was in the third grade, and my mom rounded my
Wow.
corners, and I have them framed in my office.
That is something I hope you've shared with your therapists over the years. You drew square cows,
And my
your mother
mom
needed to
rounded
round
them.
the edges. That is
What do you think that
truly
meant?
insane.
I think that was not encouraging my own creative vision, but showing me the
Becky, stay
reality of how she perceived
Come here.
cows.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you
Perfectionism.
could think of we were drawing together and having a nice time.
No, it's just
Get up.
insane.
Go on up. Up here. Go on. Up. Here. Becky, get up there.
Okay.
Beck,
For
look.
the next 20 minutes.
Look.
Becky.
Ready?
Oh my God.
Hup. Okay. Mom, Dad, I wanted to start the show off today. Can you please explain, to the best of your ability, how you think, first off, microwaves work? How does a microwave work?
You want me to talk?
Becky, you are knocking into equipment. What are you doing here?
Looking for love.
You're in trouble. Becky, get out from under.
Come here, Beck.
This
Yeah,
Come here,
is
come
not
on,
a
Beck.
dog in
This
here.
is
Come here,
really.
You are
Just don't listen to him.
Honey, put her up on the
Listen to
couch
us.
with a treat
she,
again.
She doesn't want to do that. Sit down.
All right.
Leave her alone, will you, please?
How do microwaves work? Well, I'm terrified of microwaves. I don't have them if I have an option.
How do they work?
I think the protons and neurons are
Neurons?
the protons and neurons in the air are stimulated to create friction, and that also stimulates the protons and neurons in
You mean
whatever
neutrons?
maybe. I'm not sure whether they're
And
neurons or
are
neutrons.
what you have in your head.
Yeah, but
Well,
neutrons.
I don't know.
Protons. I have no idea how they work. I
If
just
you
know
haven't
they're
paid
not
attention, I sing show tunes. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I don't
so
know
you're
whether they're
saying the
neutrons or
protons and the
neurons.
neurons.
Whatever the
I think food
atomic
tastes like
particles
shit.
are in our body,
Yeah.
that everything's made of, they get them to friction, to kind of get moving.
Yeah.
Makes heat, and it makes heat in all the meat and everything you put in it, soup, whatever, water, and heats it up. And that's how it works. How they get them to move is, I think, they're sort of invisible, but there's a lot of invisible little people in every microwave, and they start moving quickly to get them heated up.
Protons and the neurons.
Yeah.
Great.
If you have like a filter,
Yeah.
then you can see them.
Great. Mom, how does the liver work in your body? How does that work?
It's a detoxifier. The liver processes poisons and gets them to go out of your body through the kidney, I believe. I mean, I know the liver is a detoxifier. I know if you take a lot of Tylenol or Advil, you should eat a lot of pineapple because pineapple is a detoxifier.
Liver's like
That's
a
right.
coffee filter.
It
lets the liquid go through, absorbs the nutrients, but doesn't let the coffee grinds go through. Often, if you look up liver and functionality, you'll see pictures of coffee filters.
That's really interesting.
And how does things get into the liver?
They get in through the ceramic coffee filter holder, and you put it on your mouth.
Yeah,
You pour the liquid into the
Do we
ceramic
have to
holder.
expose our ignorance
No.
on every subject
No,
to the
I
whole?
think it's exposing
that's what-
our collective ignorance.
I think that's what
I
endears
mean,
it. I think that's-
what's your best guess of
I'll
how
tell you later what I
things get
think.
into the liver?
Well, you have intestines and you have all these arteries, and all your organs are connected to each other.
I mean, Mom,
And
I
it's-
don't know either.
Well, it's just pathetic. I mean, this
I
is
have no
like we're
fucking
more
idea.
ignorant.
They get in
We're more
through-
ignorant about our daily
No, we're not. I
things
have
than we
the
were
answer.
100 years ago. 100
Come on,
years ago, we
let's just-
drilled the well.
let's
We
just
knew
be-
how it worked.
Let's just be adults. They get in through the liver door.
Okay.
What brought these up? Desperate for content.
No, just I mean, we got to start talking about something. I think how do
So
things
desperate for content.
I think how do things work that are around us that feel obvious but are hard to articulate is sort of.
But you know,
interesting
again, it is interesting
stuff.
to me because 150 years ago, everybody understood how things work. They chopped the wood that made the fire. They built the well that they used to pump water from.
Yeah.
And we have gotten further and further away from understanding how, we just turn on a
of it
light
works.
and we don't know how anything works. I can't tell you how all the internet and the
Oh, yeah. How
hi-fi
does-
wire.
The
Oh,
head
wait,
bone's
no, we've
connected
already
to
done
the
that.
neck bone. The neck bone's connected to the backbone.
yeah,
The
that's
back,
about
is
it.
it on the
Is
list?
that on your list?
I'm stopping
Is that
singing
public
that song.
domain?
I don't want to pay for that. Take
Yeah.
it away.
Every year I tell myself I get better about meal planning. And it's just like a New Year's resolution that never happens. And every year life gets busy and it falls apart. What finally clicked for me is realizing meals don't have to look one specific way. They just have to fit your life. They got to be ready and they got to be good. That's what Marley Spoon does really well. I love that Marley Spoon actually adapts with you, with me, with us, with all of us. No matter what our schedule is, how crazy our life is going, how quick we need it, or a taste for this or that. Some nights you cook, some nights you heat, some nights you just need dinner done fast. Marley Spoon has tons of options in their marketplace, from meal shortcuts and drinks to fresh groceries you can add on each week. It's a great way to shop. What I love about Marley Spoon is how ridiculously easy they make everything. I made their specific recipe. I made their recipe for shrimp and vegetables and rice. It was one of those moments where you look at your plate like, I made this? I made it. Yes, sir, Mandy boy, you made this. Now shut up and eat it. And it's incredible. This new year, fast track your way to eating well with Marley Spoon. Head to marleyspoon.com/offer/don't listen for 45% off your first order and free delivery. That's right, 45% off your first order and free delivery. That's marleyspoon.com/offer/don't listen. Now, you probably didn't hear that because you're not listening, but I bet you're eating your Marley Spoon. have fun, eat that Marley spoon, and enjoy it. Sometimes there's a moment at night when you want something grown up, but not something that ruins tomorrow. So, we've been trying Little Saints. It's a real cocktail experience without the alcohol. Thank God for me. Now, if you love cocktails, like I love cocktails, but not the aftermath, Little Saints is worth trying. Like the spicy margarita. I love the ting it has. I love it just has I don't know, it just bites you and wakes you up and tickles your mouth and tickles all the way down to your toe. I love it. I just love it. What I really like about it, though, is there's 0 sugar, only 5 calories, and it is non-intoxicating. So you get that. Yummy cocktail experience without the alcohol. You can drive, have a good time. The cops can pull you over. You can pass the breathalyzer test. I'd say it's a versatile drink designed for evenings, hostings, and winding down. Visit littlesaints.com to explore their cocktails and use code Don't Listen to get 15% off your first order. Little Saints products are non-alcoholic. Functional ingredients are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition.
Mom, Dad, we're going to mix things up and have our live guest joining us a little earlier in the program today. He's a pal from the internet. We haven't met him in person till this moment right now, but we've all been appreciating each other's work and speaking out on important issues for a long time together, and he's here to help us answer a listener question. Please welcome stand-up comedian, director, producer, dad, and Celebrity Jeopardy champion, W. Kamau Bell.
Hey, Kamau, how are you?
Oh, my God. Kamau, I'm going to try not to be too much of a fangirl.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well,
we're honored to have you.
I'm honored to talk to you.
Don't do that. Don't do that. We need joy in the world.
Really, we do need joy. Joy as a way of, combating all the other shit that's going on, right? Don't let them take away our joy. What does your T-shirt say? Love is still the most powerful force on the planet. Couldn't agree with you more.
There you go.
Bell hooks, right? James, Baldwin, anybody.
It was a free T-shirt that was sent to me. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Kamau, can I ask a question? How are you doing today and with all this right now in this crazy moment?
I laugh because in my stand-up act, I say that's the hardest question to answer right now in America is how are you doing? So I've been thinking of myself as I have a certain level of privilege that many people around me don't have. So I have to understand that, like, I'm doing great compared to many of those around me.
Right.
Doesn't mean I don't struggle with things. Doesn't mean I'm not frustrated. You can talk to my wife about that. But I often understand, I understand that even in doing the work that I do and that you all do, we're sort of get to do, like, the most privileged end of it, which is sharing words online. We're not, and I'm not, I'll say that, I'm not generally out in the world doing the heavy lifting. So even when I think about, like, if I'm having a hard day, I'm very quick to be like, but it could be harder.
Oh, yeah.
My joke in my act is that whenever I start to feel bad for myself, is that the ghost of Harriet Tubman shows up and says, oh, you're having a hard day? You're having a hard day?
Yeah. I went to San Francisco State.
Oh.
And in a great period come out. I arrived there in 1964.
Wow.
And I often think if I'd gone to that acting school, that fancy one in Pittsburgh that my parents couldn't afford, instead of landing right in the heart of it all.
Yes.
It terrifies me what my narcissism would have just been grown there as opposed to a whole, other political education that was so thrilling because I was lucky enough to be part of that generation that thought we did change things. We stopped a bad war. We had the first Earth Day. We had the Civil Rights Movement. We thought, hey, these 4 years in college, man,
You did it.
We did it. We're done. All done.
Well, we thought we did it, or a lot of young people thought they did it in 2020 with the Black Lives Matter marches around the world. We thought we did it. We finally have beaten back institutional and structural racism. And all they did was give us Juneteenth as a holiday.
That's right. Right.
Kamau, I'm curious, how is it making comedy during this time? And I mean, Dad, for you too, I know that you're continuing to sing and going on tour and singing. How does continuing to make your craft and your art feel supportive or meaningful or challenging while all this is going on?
So for me, it feels like people use my comedy shows as a way to get like a vitamin B shot of hope in the middle of all this. So they definitely want me to talk about what's going on, but they also want me to just tell jokes about my kids and the silly things they do. And then afterwards, I will hang out, and there will just be a line of people who just want to say hello, get a picture, get a hug. They just need, I find right now, it's a great time to be a performer who's worth a damn.
Yeah.
Now, that's the key part. Are you a performer who's worth a damn? I can vet that the Patinkin family are worth a damn.
Thank you.
But a lot of performers out here are not worth a damn.
You know, it's interesting, Kamau. I have this thing about practice being human. I wanted to make T-shirts that said "fully human," not a neural link in me. Do you know? I think between
You don't think your phone is a neural link?
Yeah, wait a minute again. Yes, my phone is a neural link, but so far it's not in my chip, in my head. But it's interesting between COVID and the heinous aspects of technology and social media. I think we really have forgotten. We've gotten so frightened of each other. We're on these squares, and I find just like I realized in New York City, I was listening to too many things while I walked around and I wasn't where I was. And I took out my ear things and I just made eye contact with strangers in my community.
And people looked at you and said, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, really. Somebody was singing and I went, oh my God, did I need to hear that? And they're like, what? And they take their things out and go, oh, thank you, Or thanks to the postal person. Man, I love you people. Thanks for doing that. This practice and reminder of any kind of connection isn't too small if we can just make each other feel seen, and practice kindness and that we're in the same space. And that idea, too, of despair, man, that is what the fascist forces want us to feel. Despair and powerless, and there's nothing we can do. And I just feel at every opportunity in every way, if it's being kind to a stranger, if it's buying locally,
doing comedy, singing songs.
Yeah. I just think I go out and do concerts, so I sing. I call myself a mailman. I sing things that geniuses write. I'm not the genius. I'm the mailman. But men and women wrote these words, these lyrics, with music, all with music, but that become timeless in many ways because they hit the nerve of existence. And so I try very hard during these times. And when are these times? I guess I would say all times. Mm-hmm. I try during these all times to not make my concerts a political event. Now I'm slapped in the face the minute I say that. With our dear friend Martin Sheen said to us once, because Kathryn used to take care of her kids when they were little, and I said to him, early on in our relationship, I said, Martin, I don't know if I'm political. I mean, Kathryn, has certainly plugged a lot of political juices into me. And he said, do you breathe? Do you breathe, Mandy? I said, yes, I breathe. He said, well, the air you breathe is political. And I got it, right? I got it in one. And so what's so interesting to me is I like to go out on the stage and sing these songs, but I like to go out there and be with the audience most of all, because I need a break from this world and everything that we're bombarded with, and I go to that theater to have a break. But what is the unexpected joy is I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. I just know what the song is from the minute I start the song to the song's over. And the song has all kinds of possibilities in it always, but I never know what I might say in between. It's whatever comes to me, and sometimes it's a fucking disaster. Or Gideon will come after he's heard me tell something, X amount of times. And it started off being like a nice, 10-second thing, and then it becomes like a 3-hour event.
Yes.
And Gideon will say, you can drop that one.
Do you really need to tell that story?
You can drop. Yeah. Do you really need to tell that story, Dad? You don't have to tell that story. But my point is, every now and then I hear the audience have a reaction, a laugh, or a kind of deep silence, or a laugh, or a gasp, and I'm just filled with their support for the condition of our lives right now and our humanity, because what they're saying to me is, we are with you. We are with you. We are with these people who wrote these ideas and these thoughts that people were trying to realize in their own lives. Sometimes they never realize them, but they left those wishes behind. And it's such a gift that I never expected. And the minute I accidentally say something, because I can't help but be who I am, and the political shit just comes out because I've been living with this woman for 47 years. So but when it comes out and they react, I try pretty quick to dial it back, because I don't want to go down that road. We're here to have a break. But they say, you can go down that road, little boy. You go down that road all you want. Yeah, and that is a pretty thrilling gift to receive on that stage. It's pretty amazing.
It's also wild that my dad's audiences are always calling him little boy.
Yeah.
But he something I think is incredible about like live performance right now is that it feels powerful, even radical, with all these corporations pushing us into boxes to like have everything at our fingertips at home. Just being with a bunch of people in a room is amazing. It's powerful. If you sing a song just about love and kindness, that is inescapably political in this moment. It is, if you're singing about humanity, if you're just singing about having a difficult moment and communicating and surpassing that, I mean, the air you breathe is political. The songs you sing are political. The jokes you tell. And I think it's an amazing thing just for us to gather together.
We got a lot to talk about, from looking around and knowing that it's all on us, and parenting in this time. Somebody wrote in, and I just sort of wept, because this mom said, I have an 11-year-old, and how do I nourish her in these times? And I thought that was such a great word. How do you nourish your kids to be hopeful, decent, connected human beings and appreciate joy and beauty and nature and possibility when all this shit is going on around them, and this ugliness and inhumanity? I think that's a big challenge on a daily basis for parents. I don't know how old your kids are.
So I have 3 daughters. I have a 14-year-old who's a freshman in high school, an 11-year-old who's in 6th grade, and a 7-year-old who is in 2nd grade. So, and then there's my wife. So and my 88-year-old mom lives with us too. So I'm experiencing all the different realms of womanhood that a woman can experience, I believe.
Lucky you.
Yes, very lucky. So for me, I think it's important to do 2 things. One, meet kids where they're at. So don't talk to them about adult things like they're an adult.
Right.
But 2, don't be negligent in not telling your kids about the state of the world in a way that they can understand.
Yeah.
What parts of the state of the world do you share with your kids, and what parts do you avoid?
So that's a great question. With my 7-year-old, she knows that Trump is the president. She knows that he's doing things like taking away people from up the streets that he shouldn't do that for. She knows he's a bully, because little kids can recognize a bully when they see one. And she knows that he wants to hurt many of our friends and family in our community. So that's where we're at. He's a bully. He's the evil guy in the movie. He's a monster. Right. With my 11-year-old, it's a more nuanced conversation, but it's also about, with her, because she's different. She's like me. She gets anxiety about, are we safe? Mm-hmm. I see all these things. Are we safe? So then with her, the conversation is about, believe me, if it gets to the point where we're not safe, me and mama will know that, and we will get us out of here, So you don't need to worry about that. We are safe right now, and I often joke about that's why we moved to the Bay Area, where we're the brightest, bluest, safest place in America, I believe.
Yeah.
And we're surrounded by friends, And we're surrounded by people who love us and who we love. So if it gets to a point where we're not safe, me and Mama will know that before you ever know. We'll take it from there.
Yeah.
And with my 14-year-old, it's about how to be out in the world now that you're out in the world by yourself. And that means how to deal with the forces of America that I'm not going to be able to protect you from. And some of that is even the online forces of America. The number one thing I do for my 14-year-old now is just send her videos about how to spot AI.
That's phenomenal. Can you send me those videos, please?
Yes.
I want to get to a listener question that we've got that we want to share with you, Kamau, and hear everybody's thoughts on it. This is an email from Julie, and we started talking a bit about kids and having kids. This is a question along that vein. I'll read it. She wrote, "Dear Kathryn, Mandy, Gideon, and Kamau." She didn't write that part, but she meant
Of course not.
at the time. I started listening to Don't Listen to Us in October. I really appreciate that all three of you make me laugh a lot throughout your episodes. Thank you for your authenticity. It's fun to hear about your family's stories, experiences, and religious traditions. You're inspiring to me as my husband and I raise our 12-year-old son. What are some of the ways you gave your boys space and opportunities to authentically be and become the unique individuals they are today? Thanks again for making a great podcast. Keep up the good work. Blessings, Julie. And I'd love to go to you, Kamau. First, you've got 3 kids. You share their ages. And curious, how you guys in this world fight to enable them to be themselves.
So I'm an only child. My wife says only children are weird. And I said, but I'm an only child. And she said, that's how I know they're weird. I believe that kids need free time and space to sort of figure out who they are and what they're thinking about. And I think a lot of times parents at this point especially want to plug in all their kids' hours with something to do or say, why are you in your room by yourself or whatever. And I'm a big believer in allowing kids to have some free time to just be by themselves doing their own thing, because that's when they get to know themselves. And that's when they get to have thoughts that they weren't going to have if they were always in a room with the big amoeba of the family. So, and then I'm a big believer of once you find out that your kid is interested in something, even a little bit, if there's a way to figure out how to explore that with them, explore it with them. And it may only last a day or two, or it may be a thing that opens up a whole new world to them. So one of the great things about YouTube is that my 7.5-year-old loves animals, and she'll start talking about animals, and she'll start having, and she knows a lot about animals, but then she'll have questions about animals that I can't answer. And I'm like, to YouTube, Batman. And we will go then find videos that will do for kids that will do deep dives on these animals that I'll learn and she'll learn. And it's a way that I can then share this with her just by following her interests. And so that's one of the great things about technology in this era, is that it's much easier to sort of feed your kids' interests.
I think there was a great educator that wrote a book called All Kinds of Minds, who said, parents, it's great if your kid has a passion, but you don't get to choose what it is for them. And I think just seeing who your kid is, not who you wish them to be or who you wished you were to live over, your childhood differently, but to really see who they are and encourage that. And also just by example, if they see you treat everybody with a certain level of dignity and respect, they'll get the idea that's what you do with people. There's not a different level, But I remember taking Isaac. He was 8 years. He was 8 years old. I took him on the march against going into Iraq. It was freezing in New York, and he said, "Mom, why are we doing this? It's not going to stop the war." And I said, "Yeah, but they're going to know the people are pissed off." And that is your obligation, my dad was the son of a Jewish immigrant that landed on Normandy on D-Day. He had a 30-year correspondence with Senator Al Cranston, and he had no money. That is a big difference in where we are right now. Yes, he had ideas, and his senator wrote him 2 pages back, So I think.
Let me ask a question. What comes up for you, Kamau, with this topic of either what you've learned or how different kids' personalities inform how you parent them?
So yes, as an only child, it is weird to me that 3 kids from the same 2 people can be so totally different.
Yeah.
So I'm always blown away by like how are these 3 so different even though they're made up of the same stuff.
Yeah.
So I've learned I have to parent each of them differently, which may be no revelation to you all, but for me it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So the thing that I'm aware of, because my kids are mixed, their mom is white, I'm black, as I believe I've stated publicly.
Right.
That the thing that I'm aware of is that there is a black education that they need to have that I have to be attuned to, because it's not going to happen through osmosis the way it happened with me. Because they're not constantly around blackness the way that I was. I have to be sort of aware of the fact that like, oh, I need to teach you this thing so that you know this thing, so you know how to be connected to other black people in the world. Not that you have to, you can judge it, you can have thoughts about it, but I want you to know the thing. And so I have often, and we joke about it, so we talk about it. Like, I'm like, this is the thing I'm teaching you because it's a black thing. And the kids are aware that this is the thing we joke about. And then there's things that we do that are black things that I love that are just a part of how I grew up. So we do Kwanzaa in my house, which is still, despite what the media would tell you, is not a thing that most black families do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's this part of me that is like, I want to teach you the black things. And then at some point, my wife, who grew up Catholic, and I grew up, black Christian, whatever that means. But we didn't go to church in our family, but me and my wife both grew up going to church. And I realized at some point, like, I think we accidentally skipped God. Like, I think I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need them to be like religious zealots, but I would like them to have an understanding. And you can decide if you believe in that or not, but I would like you to have an understanding of that. And so God started coming up around my kids, and they would hear about it. My 11-year-old said to my wife, I don't believe in God. And my wife was a little bit like, whoa. And my 7-year-old goes, my 11-year-old asked my wife, do you believe in God? She goes, yes, of course I believe in God. And a little bit confused that she didn't know that my wife believed in God. And then I came up and my wife goes, do you think Dada believes in God? And she said, yeah, of course. He's always saying, help me, Black Jesus. Which is a thing I say around the house. Anytime I need help with something, I say, oh, help me, Black Jesus. And so it was funny to me to find out that I had sort of introduced the idea of spirituality to them through just my own life in the world. But now my 14-year-old is actually going to high school at a Catholic school. And weirdly, I'm happy about it, even though I'm not Catholic, because I feel like you do need to know what this God religion thing is, because that's a lot of how the world works.
I think I'm going to start saying, help me, Black Jesus, too.
Yeah. I've always said, help me, Jewish Jesus.
You can do that.
Because,
and I'm going to say, just to add to that, there's two things I want to say. I want to make sure I say, not that I have to go, but I just want to make sure I get these 2 things out. As we talk about parenting and how parents show up and how parents should act, literally today, I have to go to my 11-year-old school to have a meeting with the school about a thing that my 11-year-old does not like that me and her mom agree with. And I asked my 11-year-old, I go, look, you can handle this if you want to, but if you need to tap me in, tap me in. But you have to tap me in. And I put my hand out like this. And because she's my kid, she's funny. She put her head down on my hand. It was like, tap, tap. And so I was like, all right, I'm in. And even in the process of doing this, I sent an email to the school and I let my 11-year-old read it to be like, is this okay? Am I saying it right? She had a couple edits.
Yeah.
And then I sent it off to the school. So as we're sitting here talking about how to be a parent, I'm literally like getting ready to go to the school today to express to them that this is the line and we have to stop crossing this line
Right.
for my
Good
11-year-old.
for you.
So I just want to like active, like I'm thinking about it as we sit here.
Great.
Well, I was curious if Kamau, was there something in your experience, even though your kids are still young, is there something that you feel like, oh, wow, that was something that I felt confident about or seemed obvious early on, but now after having 3, I've learned how to do that so much better with that much more practice?
Yeah. So my oldest kid is very confident in the world just by nature of who she is. She takes after her mom. And I think I often sort of assumed she's got this. And then I would look up sometimes and be like, oh, no, she doesn't got this. Even though she is confident in the world, that doesn't mean that I shouldn't always be like very attentive and paying attention and to make sure that she's not navigating herself into bad spots. So I think not that I'm not a helicopter parent, but I am a parent now who like will check in and be like, everything okay in here? Like everything going all right? Yeah. Just a little more actively to let them know that I'm here if you need me, which is what I did with my 11-year-old. I am here if you need me, and I want you to hear me say that. I think the number one thing I learned from my mom's parenting is it is important that your kids know that you always have their back. And you can't sort of say that out loud enough. I got you if you need me. It's not a thing I don't want you to hear me say this a year ago. I want you to regularly hear me say, I'm here if you need me.
I love that.
I love that. I just want to ask one thing. I know we have to go. Gideon's doing the signal.
Mom sees me do the we have to end now. We're wrapping up
and
signal.
Just like,
and she interprets that as, just 5 more things.
Well, this is, I don't even know if you can see this. These are my notes to you about all topics, I might end up sending them to you. Kamau, do you know Jessica Craven, chop wood, carry water? Mm-mm. Okay, I just want to let you know.
I know that expression, yes.
Well, she has a Substack, a video. She's an activist. What I love about her thing, she's sometimes so enraged that she can't speak. But with the recent elections, she was so excited she couldn't speak. She said, I know we had to lose somewhere, but I can't find one, But what she does with every video or letter, she tells you, here's the 20 great things that happened today. And we're not hearing it on the news or in the friggin' New York Times. She tells you every lawsuit we're winning, every overturning of abortion bans, all the climate. I read it when I'm in great despair and think, quote, they're winning. And I realize, no, they're not. We are, even though it seems like we're not. So thank you for doing what you do. I'm thrilled to talk to you. I could talk to you.
Thank you.
Pretty much for the day. I want to send you something. Gideon will show me how to do that. Thank you for your brilliant Shades of America, which I was a devoted fan of, and you shocked the shit out of me often, and I loved it.
Thank you. Before I go, I said 2 things.
Oh, yes,
this is the last thing. You can't wrap me up, Gideon.
No, I don't want to.
You can't. Yeah, I can't see you.
That's all right.
I can't see you giving me the wrap it up, so I get to keep going.
I can give him a kick under the table in the right place. You go right ahead.
So, and I told Gideon this a long time ago, but I just want to bring it up. So I was my 3 best friends in high school, apropos of nothing other than the entire conversation, were all Jewish kids, sort of in Chicago. Jason Smith, whose dad was the head of religions at the University of Chicago, Jonathan Z. Smith, Jonathan Norton, whose dad worked in cable, and Rob Nasser, whose parents were both doctors. And so in my teen years, I would go to Seders and Passovers occasionally, but one of them, Rob, regularly said that he was your cousin, Mr. Patinkin. And so I spent a lot of time with Rob, and whenever you
What was Rob's last name?
Nassiter. I don't know if it's through the Nassiter family, but whenever you came on TV or in a movie, which was a lot, he was like, yeah, I'm related to Mandy Patinkin. I don't know if that's true, but it's just funny to me to sit here and talk to you, because for my teen years, I knew you were my friend's cousin. Maybe that's not true.
It's a very big family.
It's a big family, but I would be curious, and if you're connected with Gideon to tell him, ask Rob. It has to be through his mother's side, not the Nassiter, because I don't. If it's a Patinkin or a Pinkert, it's a cousin. But if it must be on the marriage side of the mother. So I'd love to know how she was related, how he's related to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't leave without saying that. So yeah. So I have a cousin too now, because Rob was my best friend. So now I'm a cousin.
Where are you?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Where'd you grow up in Chicago?
Hyde Park.
That's the last place I lived, was 54th and Hyde Park Boulevard.
We walked past each other.
Yeah. Where'd you go to high school? Kenwood?
I went to lab, of course.
Of
I went
course.
to lab.
You're talking to the only...
No, lab. Not Kenwood.
You're talking to the only Patinkin in the whole family of a lot of Patinkins. I'm the only one who couldn't get into the lab school.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in, and I was in the first graduating class. I was in the first graduating class at Kenwood.
Wow. I didn't wow.
Yeah.
No,
my God.
I went to lab.
Yeah.
Putting my nose in the air.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we have a lot of friends that went to the lab.
I hear
school.
that word, I go
Yeah.
into a little PTSD.
Yeah, right. Of insecurity. Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you, Kamau.
making time with us, man. And
Such a
hope
pleasure
to be in
and
touch soon.
privilege. Yeah.
And thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for what you do in every imaginable way.
Yeah.
Thank you. And,
Love
and
is the
keep,
most powerful
keep banging
force on
that
the
drum,
planet.
baby. Keep
Yeah.
banging that drum.
Yeah.
I got no choice. Got no choice. Thank you. Love you both.
Got
Love all
no
of you.
choice.
Thank
It's
you.
up to
All of
us.
you.
Come on.
Not just you two.
We're all in this together.
All of you. Thank you.
Put your hand out there, Gid. There he is.
There he is.
There's the Gid.
So, since a lot of our conversations today were about family, I want to wrap up by revisiting a segment we've done before on the show. I call it Gideon's Secrets, where I share a story about me or my childhood that you don't know about.
Oh my God. Have we done this before?
So, I don't.
We did the fire one in the bathtub.
Yeah,
In the
I don't.
bathroom.
I don't
right.
think you know this, but when I was a kid, growing up on 200 West 90th Street, we had quite a large apartment in the city, and we had a long hallway. So there was one half of the apartment where me and my brother's room was, and there was a long hallway that led to your guys' offices and your bedroom. And when there was conflict or some sort of issue, you guys would go like, okay, we're going to go talk about this. You would very obviously separate yourself from the group, and you would go to Dad's office, usually, to have these adult conversations where the kids couldn't hear. I would walk very slowly because it was an old creaky floor in the hallway. And I would sometimes even bring a cup because I saw that in a show or a movie. And I would get right up to your door, your office door, and I would listen in or put the cup there and I would listen. And if I heard you coming towards the door and a few times you'd open the door and leave the office, I'd leave the door to the bedroom open and I'd dash into the bedroom and roll across the bed. But I listened to countless
Oh my God. honey.
secret adult conversations that I wasn't allowed to.
What's the most memorable
Well,
one?
that's really
None of
very...
them. I mean, I just found them fascinating, and it was so delicious that you didn't know I was there. I mean, I wasn't into stealing stuff, but I was into stealing moments kids weren't supposed to have.
I think you're still into that.
And
kid.
it was, I mean, it's not entirely disconnected from here we are.
Yeah.
Still fascinated somehow by my parents.
Yeah.
But it was very fascinating education to hear adults talking about adult things, work, parenting, arguments, friends, family, in ways that you would never let me hear as a kid.
Did you feel there were things that harmed you that you shouldn't have heard that would be better for you not to have heard?
No, I thought it was all super interesting. It was kind of the equivalent of...
He told me a couple of them, but they mainly had to do with things that you did wrong.
Yeah, that's right. No, it was the equivalent of like kids who aren't allowed to watch rated R movies, like
which you weren't,
stealing
but I
them
knew
and
you would
watching
sneak.
all the movies.
Yeah.
And it was most delicious to just kind of be getting away with it and feeling like, oh wow, I have a whole new world into adult land.
Well, you still are, you could call it very inquisitive or curious or nosy when you said to me a number of years ago, Mom, are there any secrets that you have that you've told nobody? And if there are, you can tell me. You can tell me. Don't tell Isaac he couldn't handle it, but I can handle it. I want to know.
I'll be your reservoir of truth.
One of the reasons I want to purge all my shit before I die is my biggest.
that going?
Not good. One of my biggest terrors is you will just spend decades going through every scrap trying to find things.
Don't worry,
and
Mom.
Isaac will just throw it out.
I've gotten quite a bit of you over the last few
Yeah,
years.
that's
I
true.
don't
You don't
think
need
I'm going to
more.
be mining.
Okay, good.
I think I've squozed you for
Okay.
all your wisdom and experiences. But I think what you're
I
referring
think whenever Mom goes
Yeah.
to do her place somewhere, I'm going to empty out all the storage at places. That's when I'll get rid of all
No,
that
you're not
she
doing anything while I'm
hasn't
alive.
even looked at for good 30,
No.
40, 50 years.
But you know what's interesting, kid? You're so curious about my secrets, but you won't share. You're very private with me.
That's because you cannot handle it. You cannot. You want to know everything about me. You can't handle negative things about me. It's true. If you hear anything about my life that is negative or that I'm sad, you take it on your burden as your own. You tell 15 friends about it, and you'll talk and think about it until you hear that it's good for me. So that's part of the challenge in our relationship, is for you to be able to
I would like to
know
practice.
that some bad things sometimes I have sad feelings about.
I know you have sad
There's
feelings.
nothing he's mentioning about me. Everything about us is perfect.
I know, that's right.
Dad
It's
can
just-
handle that a little bit
Okay,
more.
okay. I would like to
But I
be
don't
given
tell
the
him.
opportunity to practice saying, "I'm sorry you're sad, but that's being human," or whatever I'm supposed to say, or just dealing with
You
your
should
sadness.
just say, "Oh, that sounds hard."
That sounds
Good
hard.
luck with that.
That sounds hard. Good luck with that. I can't do anything about it, but
there
I'm
was-
sure you will be able to deal with it, handle it any way you want to.
The one thing that you're referencing about me asking you about secrets, you're conflating things a little bit, but there is something in the family or something in the past that you were debating whether to tell me and my brother, and I really wanted to know. But I can tell whatever it is, it's that your concern is that this possibly negative thing about someone connected in our history, that will sully my perception of them or damage my perception of them. What I've always told you is, like, I find it really meaningful and interesting to know all the flavors and the shades of people and the family and the stories, and that, you know, knowing something bad about me doesn't make me a piece of shit.
No.
You know, like, it's just another chapter in our lives.
But can you imagine anything for any family, including ours, that is something that is absolutely not helpful to know about, that you don't need
I
to know
can,
about?
and
it,
I
that would
think
be-
it's important to preserve the mystery of each individual in your life so that you keep leaning in to try to see it, learn it, find out what you don't know. I would never share every little thing about my life with hopefully anyone, including a therapist.
But it's not about your life. It's about somebody else.
No, my life's connection to someone else, something that is filtered through my existence. Not everything is worth or important, and I think it's important to keep.
I agree.
I know you do, and I think it's important to keep a wellspring of privacy, because I think I don't know why I think it, but I deeply believe it's an important private treasure chest of your existence.
I agree that it's a healthy thing to keep a lot of things private.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to know whatever this one secret is that Mom has been
I'll tell you
debating.
later. I'll tell you later.
I don't know
I'll
if
tell
you know.
later. I know it. I know
don't
what
know
it
if
is
you know.
that you
Does
want to
Dad know it?
Yeah.
He doesn't know it. She just shook her head. You
I
don't
have,
know it.
You know the truth? I have no idea what you're talking
I know.
about.
I know that.
None. Zero.
I know. So if she tells me, I'll then decide whether or not you can know.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay. I'll buy you something.
What do you think the chances are that you'll tell me, Mom?
Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Will you tell? Do I know?
No.
Will you tell me?
I'm not discussing it.
Will you
Not
tell me?
publicly,
Will you
privately.
tell me?
Sure.
You will.
No.
What? How do you like
No,
that?
she was just-
you lose, pal.
She's
you
mouthing
lose.
no.
Dad, son.
She's mouthing
Father,
no. She
son.
was just trying to get you off her back for a
Oh,
moment.
my
When you
God.
draw that picture of a
was that?
family, next time you draw the picture of the family, they have little kids draw,
Yeah.
and usually the kid's bigger,
You're
the mom's
high.
real big, and I'm
Okay,
real
we've
little.
said
You
this.
put me
Okay.
big. You make me
You're
big.
very special.
I'm the
Okay.
one who's
You're
going to
the-
hear the
I
secret.
wish I
You're the
lived
winner.
Now,
in
if
San
you want to
Francisco
know it,
and I could
if you
get
want-
to know
hold on.
Kamau Bell and his
If you-
family.
You know, I got a song about all
If
this.
you want to know everything you want to know, everything you want to do, everything you want to say, everything you want to do, everything you want to know, everything you want to say, come to us, knock on my door, say you can tell me from the ceiling to the floor. Yes, everything you want to know, everything you want to do, everything you want to do, everything you want to be, everything you want to go, everything you want to go, no. And remember these words I love to say, have a wonderful day.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We want to hear from you. More questions, stories, advice, recipes, jokes, strange
Please give
things you
us
find
advice.
Underneath your house.
Yeah.
You can send an email to askmandyandkathryn@gmail.com or check out our socials for an easy way to send us a voice note. Please leave a review if you're enjoying the show. And if you hate the show, it's optional. Stop listening. Thank you so much for being here. And remember...
Don't listen to us.
Listen
Don't
to
listen to
us.
Don't Listen to Us is a Lemonada Media original, hosted by Mandy Patinkin-Grody, and Gideon Grody Patinkin. Created by Katrina Onstad, Debbie Pacheco, and Gideon Grody Patinkin. Executive producers are Kathryn Grody, Gideon Grody Patinkin, Mandy Patinkin, Katrina Onstad, Debbie Pacheco, Jessica Cordova Kramer, and Stephanie Whittles Wax. Our engineer is Ryan Derringer of Welterweight Sound. Video and audio production by Mark Whiteway of Bellows Media. If you haven't subscribed to Lemonada Media Premium yet, now's the perfect time. You can hear Don't Listen to Us completely ad-free. Plus, you'll unlock exclusive bonus content like behind-the-scenes conversations, questions so weird they didn't make it on air, Becky the Dog shenanigans, and more. Just tap the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, head to lemonadapremium.com to subscribe on any other app, or listen ad-free on Amazon Music with your Prime membership. That's lemonadapremium.com. Don't miss out.